What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. And David Ornstein, who is not an FSG mouthpiece, he's not really connected with FSG, he's a very reliable independent journalist. He said that from multiple reliable sources, he knows that FSG are planning to spend big in the summer transfer window, and also we are holding talks with the representatives of MacAllister, and we also are holding talks to sign Ryan Gravenberch, as it was confirmed in yesterday's video. I will talk about all the latest transfer news regarding Liverpool FC in this video, so if you are excited about this, leave a like, subscribe if you are new around here, and turn on the bell notification so you never miss the latest updates around Liverpool FC. Speaking to NBC Sports, respected journalist David Ornstein was giving the lowdown on Liverpool's potential business. He said, when push came to shove, Liverpool ultimately decided that it was more important to focus on a number of positions when they spend, and I do think they will spend heavily, as opposed to pooling all those resources into one signing. Those signings will become the focus of our attention from here on, and we are hearing names heavily linked with them, the likes of Mason Mount, MacAllister. There are reports in the UK that they have held a meeting with the representatives of Ryan Gravenberch of Bayern Munich. I am of the understanding, David Ornstein said, that that is correct. So they will be exploring many avenues. And why? Because there will be many players leaving the club as well. And if Liverpool sign MacAllister, Mason Mount and Ryan Gravenberch, I think that would be a really good transfer window, and it would soften the blow of missing out on Jude Bellingham. But I still feel that we need an out-and-out defensive midfielder as well. Declan Rice would be super expensive, but he would be perfect for this Liverpool side. Ugarte is a cheaper option. He is a really good player from Uruguay who is playing for Sporting Lisbon. And if you watched the Juventus Sporting game, Sporting played Juventus off the park and they were so unlucky not to score at least 3 goals. They lost 1-0 in the end. And even Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Liverpool will have direct contact with MacAllister's people very soon. And also Gravenberch is very unhappy at Bayern Munich. Liverpool are interested in signing him, but signing MacAllister and Gravenberch needs to be just the start. It would be very promising if with these transfers we would get done early, and I expect Liverpool to get most, like 90% of the transfer business done before the pre-season begins, which is, I think, in July, in the middle of the July usually, or in the second part of July usually pre-season starts, and that's when Liverpool will want all of the new players to come in so they can have a full pre-season with Jurgen Klopp, so they can get coached into how to play in this Liverpool Jurgen Klopp system. And I mean, these 3 players would be a decent/great summer transfer window. Ryan Gravenberch is a relatively low transfer fee with great potential upside, because if we sign Gravenberch for 25 million, and even if he just turns into a 50 million pound player, which is likely, very likely, but there is potentially an opportunity or a possibility for Gravenberch to turn into a 100 million pound player. And Fabrizio Romano said that MacAllister is 100% leaving Brighton at the end of the season, and why wouldn't he? Even if Brighton make the top 4, they can't offer MacAllister the wages that he wants, and also he wants to play for a big club after winning the World Cup. Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United are all interested in MacAllister. And I mean, for Chelsea and Man United, MacAllister is not a priority. They don't desperately need a midfielder like him, but for Liverpool he is a priority, and we will have direct contact with the representatives of MacAllister very soon. And Ryan Gravenberch is very unhappy at Bayern Munich, but it's no surprise that he has had such limited playing time, because Bayern Munich have Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, 2 absolutely world-class midfielders, and in the attacking midfield role they have Thomas Müller, a veteran, still world-class player, and Musiala, an up-and-coming world-class attacking midfielder. To play in any of those 3 positions, you need to get ahead of 4 world-class midfielders for Gravenberch, so no wonder he wants out, because there is very limited playing time. But Bayern Munich rate him very highly. You don't have to think they want to sell Gravenberch because he's not good enough. They want to keep him, but Gravenberch himself wants out. He wants to go, and Liverpool are interested in him, but so are a lot of other teams. For 25 million, I think a lot of teams would want to sign Ryan Gravenberch. But because Liverpool have been monitoring him for a long time, even before he signed from Ajax to Bayern, Liverpool were in contact with Gravenberch. We have a better chance of signing him than other clubs. MacAllister, Gravenberch and Mason Mount are all good signings if the prices are reasonable. But I still feel that we need a midfielder who is more defensively minded. Somebody like Moises Caicedo, Ugarte, Declan Rice. I mean, Declan Rice and Caicedo would be absolutely enormously expensive because they have Caicedo just signed a new contract at Brighton after the January transfer window, where they even turned down an £80 million bid for Caicedo, and for Declan Rice he would be absolutely crazy expensive as well because of the Premier League tax. And it's very encouraging that Mike Gordon is back to running Liverpool FC day to day, because his relationship with Jurgen Klopp was very instrumental in the past year's success of Liverpool, because they worked really, really well together. And I mean, Jonathan Northcroft even said that it is understood that Bellingham would rather stay at Dortmund for another season and push for a transfer in 2024 than be pushed towards a transfer right now that's not absolutely right for him. Which club is absolutely right for Bellingham in his mind? Who knows? His father and his family clearly they are Liverpool fans. They really like Liverpool, so they are probably pushing Bellingham towards Liverpool. But Liverpool didn't want to get dragged into a bidding war with Bellingham, with Chelsea, Man City, Real Madrid. They have just more money than Liverpool, frankly. And Liverpool didn't want to get into a bidding war. The transfer saga gets stretched, and then maybe in July or late August, Liverpool ultimately miss out on Bellingham because he either goes to another club for bigger money or he decides to stay at Dortmund. And then Liverpool are left there scrambling for midfield signings. So that's one of the main reasons, I think, why Liverpool announced early that they are not going to sign Bellingham and they are pulling out of the race. And according to Jonathan Northcroft's article, Liverpool thought Bellingham would be sold by Dortmund for 80 million plus add-ons. And if somebody at Liverpool really thought that, he needs to get fired, because not in a million years would Bellingham be so cheap. Even last summer he would have been more expensive, but of course last summer he decided to stay at Dortmund, and Dortmund didn't want to sell Haaland and Bellingham. Bellingham was always going to be a £100 million plus player, but now we are talking about 130, 150 million pounds. Absolutely crazy transfer fees for a 19-year-old player. Yes, he's world class, but Liverpool shouldn't blow almost their entire transfer budget on one player. And Jonathan Northcroft also writes that the long-awaited return of Luis Diaz against Leeds United tomorrow should be a starting point in the redesign of Liverpool. On top of the penetration and unpredictability of Luis Diaz, the speed and aggression of his pressing holds his teammates forwards to press with him, making them go quicker and harder to keep up with Diaz. Luis Diaz is pivotal to a revamped Liverpool's game, but we shouldn't expect too much from Luis Diaz because he has had a really long 6-month injury. So we should give him time to get back to his best, and that will probably be right at the end of the season, and next season we will see again the real Luis Diaz. One key signing has already been made by Liverpool, and that is the new club doctor, Jonathan Power. What a name, by the way. Addressing the worst injury record in the Premier League this season is key to Liverpool's rebuild, and the hope is that with a fitter team, stalwarts like Andy Robertson and Virgil van Dijk will be back to their best, and maybe Liverpool can do the same and be back to their best as well, because oh boy, do we need to improve from this absolute disaster of a season. And I think it's actually a good plan to spread the funds around and sign 3 brilliant midfielders, a centre back and hopefully a young right back, with the 250 million that FSG are hopefully going to give Jurgen Klopp. And I mean, for the 25 million, I think signing Gravenberch is a no-brainer. He's still super talented, and yes, he has some issues with his work ethic, but he's still only 20 years old, so Jurgen Klopp there can definitely mold him and improve him into a brilliant player. And if Jurgen Klopp and the team, the assistant managers and everybody at Liverpool can sort his attitude out, he will be an outstanding transfer. When you consider the prices being talked about for some of our other midfield targets, Gravenberch for 25 million sounds like an absolute bargain. Another defensive midfielder that we haven't talked about is Lavia of Southampton. He's a very young but talented player with bags of potential, and he would be actually pretty cheap, especially if Southampton gets relegated. I don't wish them to get relegated because they have been in the Premier League for 11 years, but they look like the biggest relegation candidates at the moment. And I'm sure Lavia has a clause in his contract that with relegation he could be leaving Southampton for a cheaper price. But of course, we signed so many players from Southampton: Virgil van Dijk, Lallana, even Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain started his career there, and Nathan Clyne and other players, Sadio Mane as well. So the Southampton being Liverpool's academy joke keeps going on if we sign Lavia, that's for sure. And also I have to talk about this, what happened with Virgil van Dijk this season. I have no idea why, but he is in the worst 1-against-1 defensive win percentage in the Premier League. He's 43.8% in terms of winning his defensive duels 1v1. The worst in the Premier League is Kyle Walker with 17%, and the best is Aaron Wan-Bissaka with 94% and William Saliba with 83%. And also Luke Shaw, Reece James, Ezri Konsa, Ashley Young, Thiago Silva are in that top 10 best defenders for 1-against-1 defensive duels. But Virgil van Dijk is in the worst 10 players when it comes to winning defensive duels, and that's very unlike him. And I'm not sure what happened to Virgil van Dijk, but his form has really dropped off, which is really alarming and worrying that he's losing so many defensive 1v1s. Hopefully it's just him being overplayed. He played so much football, so many games last season, 63 game season. Virgil van Dijk played probably 50 plus games, plus the World Cup this season. So hopefully with a good summer's rest, he can get back to his best next season. And that rhymed as well. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going this week to my father's city to renovate his flat, his house, while he's still in the hospital recovering from a stroke. The videos might not be as consistent as usual, but bear with me, I'm trying my best, and I already recorded 2 Liverpool Carry Mode episodes in advance for this week, so I will edit them when I have time. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later. Goodbye.